Welcome to the first video lecture on Communication System 1. In this short lecture, I will briefly revise some properties of Fourier transform. We already had one lecture live, so this is what we already did. We defined Fourier transform as so here is a notation you should now remember. We will follow it throughout the book. So that signals which will be denoted by function of time will usually be denoted by small letters like g of t, and the Fourier transform will be denoted by capital letter like capital G, capital M, so on and so forth. And here is a definition you might be knowing already: is g of t times e to the power minus j omega t dt. And I have made a comment that if g of t is real, then in general g of omega may be complex function also, and hence g of omega will have modulus as well as phase. So the example we did, I think at that time there were some typos. Now I have written it here again correctly. So for this e to the power minus a mod of t, okay, we can slightly plot it like this. It will be some function like, okay, this is e to the power minus at. A is positive. It's for a transform. You can compute directly. You can evaluate this integral by breaking it to minus infinity to 0, 0 to infinity. You will get 2a divided by a square plus omega square. So its magnitude is this. Its phase is 0. Why? Because you see the phase is defined as tan inverse of imaginary part by real part. So imaginary part is 0. So it is tan inverse of 0 divided by real part. Okay, so that is this whole 2a divided by a square plus omega square, whatever. So divided by this mod of g omega, which is 0. So its phase is 0. Okay, now I would like to give a graphical demonstration later. Now I will first try to show you one important property which is very useful from communication point of view. Suppose you have g of t, okay, whose Fourier transform, this is the notation we will follow. Double arrow means that the Fourier transform of g of t is capital G of omega, and we also say that the Fourier inverse of g of omega is g of t. So Fourier inverse. So we in fact write that g of t, here is a notation, is defined as Fourier inverse of g of omega. Okay, and now I have given a signal g of t whose Fourier transform is capital G of omega. Now I will multiply this g of t with e to the power minus j omega naught t. Okay, what is the significance of, you might see this e to the power minus j omega t again and again. Actually, you know the relationship that e to the power j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta. Okay, so if you look at the real part of this, that is cos. If you look at imaginary part of this function, that is sine. So it becomes very convenient to handle the exponential rather than cos and sine. So wherever we have any operation where we need to multiply some function with cos or sine, we will multiply it with e to the power j theta and then take the real part at the end. So you can think of e to the power j omega naught t or any such function where it is e to the power j 2 pi f t or whatever. They are actually sinusoidal functions. Their real part is cos, their imaginary part is sine. You all know this. Now if I multiply it, what will happen to the Fourier transform? Okay, so let's see. Suppose you have Fourier transform of this g1 of t. Okay, what it will be? According to definition, integral minus infinity to infinity g of t, then it is e to the power minus j omega naught t, then there is e to the power minus j omega t, right, by definition. So I can club the exponential terms together minus j. So I will get omega plus omega naught t dt, right? Now what is this? Now let me concentrate on this term, e to the power minus j omega naught plus omega times t. Okay, then there is g of t and integral. So it is the Fourier transform of g of t. Now instead of omega, it is omega plus omega naught. So can I write g of omega plus omega naught by definition, right? See, you have to be, if you look at this definition, g of omega is the Fourier transform. We are writing here omega because there is omega here. Okay, now instead of omega, if there is omega plus omega naught, that will appear here also, g of omega plus omega naught. Okay, so that is what I have written here. So it is omega plus omega naught here, g of omega naught. If this is clear, then see the next thing. So I am writing that Fourier transform of g1 of t, that is g of t times e to the power minus j omega naught t, that will be g of omega plus omega naught. It shifts the frequency, the omega by omega naught, and if I multiply e to the power plus j omega naught t, it will do omega minus omega naught. Why? Go back to this slide. Now if I write here, I will erase it. Okay, so if I write here g2 of t, right? So it is plus j omega t, right? So then it becomes here plus, and here it will come minus. Do you agree, all of you? Nice. So here also I will modify, then it will become it will become omega minus omega naught t. Hence the Fourier transform will become g of omega minus omega naught t. Okay, it is when we multiply e to the power plus j omega naught t. So Fourier transform of e to the power j omega naught t times g of t is g of omega plus omega naught, and if it is g of t times e to the power j omega naught t, it is g of omega minus omega naught. Now we will add g1 and g2. Okay, what we get when we add g1 and g2? Okay, so let's try first manually. So it is g of t common e to the power j omega naught t minus plus e to the power j omega naught t, right? So it is usual formula, e to the power j theta plus e to the power minus j theta is twice cos theta, right? Very basic identity. So hence it becomes 2gt cos omega naught t, right? And one property I will recall here, Fourier transform has a linear property. Linear property means if g1 of t has Fourier transform g1 of omega, g2 of t has a Fourier transform g2 of omega, then g1 of t plus g2 of t will have Fourier transform g1 of omega plus g2 of omega. Very basic property. It is linear. We call it superposition property also. Okay, now if you see that, then the Fourier transform of sum of g1 of t, g2 of t, okay, will be the sum of Fourier transforms of this and this, which was g of omega minus omega naught, g of omega plus omega naught. Okay, hence we can write Fourier transform of g of t cos omega naught t. यहाँ पर 2 एक्स्ट्रा है, वो 2 हम यहाँ डिवाइड करेंगे. इसका Fourier transform क्या है? 1/2 of g of omega minus omega naught plus g of omega plus omega naught. Now what does it mean? Okay, so let me use that previous blank page to explain what does it mean. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we will take example of the same function which we have already done, that is e to the power minus a mod of t. If you plot this function, it is like this. and its Fourier transform 2a divided by a square plus omega square, इसका Fourier transform कुछ ऐसा है. Okay. Now what if this is g of omega, what g of omega minus omega naught means? It means we have to shift frequencies by plus omega naught, right? बेसिक फंक्शन प्लॉटिंग प्रॉपर्टी आपको पता है कि अगर आपके पास f of x है, right? Suppose f of x is something like this. What will be f of x minus suppose 2? So आप ये सारा जो है इसको 0 से 2 पे शिफ्ट कर लो. So this will be f of x minus 2. So similarly, if you have g of omega as this, okay, so g of omega minus omega naught, especially when omega naught is high, it will be something like this. So this part is g of omega minus omega naught. Any guess what will be g of omega plus omega naught? Yes, some of you might be writing, it is here. This is g of omega plus omega naught, shifting to minus omega naught. So just look at it. When it was simple g of t, then the Fourier transform was here, centered around zero frequency. When you multiplied it with cos, that is, you multiplied first it with e to the power j omega naught t, then e to the power minus j omega naught t, the spectrum or the Fourier transform got shifted. This property is very important property. In fact, it has a name called modulation theorem, and in next lecture, video lecture, I will explain you how this is very important, why it's called the modulation theorem, and it has a very close relationship with with the communication systems, and that we will do in next lecture. Till then, goodbye.